This is a experiment where you are going to find out the coefficient of discharge through the various notches, right? So first, what are notches? So notches are devices which are used to measure the flow rate in case of open channels, right? So this shows the V notch, right? The shape of the notch is like a V, right? So these notches are used to measure so how much water is flowing in a canal, right? So you have a dam built and it is used for irrigation purposes. So you are taking the water through the canals to the different regions. Suppose you want to find out what is the flow rate of water that is going through a particular canal, then you can attach this V notch there and find out the flow rate. So here on an experimental basis, on a smaller scale, this is being done, but the same principle would be used there to find out the discharge coefficient. So what is the coefficient of discharge? The coefficient of discharge is the ratio between the actual discharge and the theoretical discharge, right? So we all know that under ideal conditions, the theoretical discharge would be always maximum, right? Because there are no losses, we are not considering any losses in the ideal case. Whereas the actual discharge would be lesser than that, right? So because of the friction and other losses, the actual discharge would be lesser than that. So the coefficient of discharge is the ratio between actual discharge upon theoretical discharge. So if you want to measure the actual discharge, once I know the coefficient of discharge, I can simply multiply by the theoretical discharge and I can get it. And there is a formula for theoretical discharge for various notches in terms of H, right? Where H is what is known as the head of water through which the water is flowing through the notch. So that head we are going to find out by doing the experiments at the different flow rates. Correct? Now, see how this experiment is done, right? So there is a storage tank over there, and in which you have a water pump, right? So a motor with a water pump is there. So that means the water is sucked from the sump and it is circulated over through the notch and it again flows back, and it is a closed cycle, right? So initially what we are doing is, for starting the experiment, we are keeping both the valves open. We are keeping both the valves are open, and we are switching on the motor. Once the motor is switched on and when pumps rotates, right, it takes the water. So this is suction line of the water. So it sucks the water from the sump, and so because this bypass is completely open, right? So whatever the water it pumps back, pumps, and it is same thing is put it back to the sump, right? Now to start the experiment, then I just close the this bypass valve. So closing means I am just rotating in the clockwise. Clockwise is closing. And just close. I have completely closed this. When I close this, then this water level will reduce. So now we start from the beginning. See, I need to measure the cylinder, right? Now we just close that so that when the water drains down, then we start.